once again. So, in today's video, I wanted to ask, do most black women seem to choose some of the worst black men on purpose? You could also say by default. Because I look at it from this perspective. There are some of you black women who, when you were little girls, you were taught by, if not your mom, or trained by your mom, either your grandma, in some instances, for some of you were lucky or blessed enough to meet your great grandmoms, your great grandmoms, your aunts, or as we say down in the South, aunties, female cousins, that choose some of the worst black men you can find. You know, the ones who abuse women, whether it may be either psychologically, emotionally, physically, even verbally. But in most instances, verbally, either verbally or physically. If he may not happen to be a woman abuser, as I like to call him, he may happen to be a drug addict, a stone cold drug addict, who is always under the influence of some kind of drug or narcotic. If not that, he is a career criminal and takes pleasure in being a career criminal, of doing jail time or having done jail time. He may be one who may have done jail time in the past for some of the most heinous of crimes, such as aggravated assault. I wouldn't say really aggravated. Let me take that back. Aggravated assault, maybe either burglary, robbery, or in the worst case scenario, murder. And there are some of you sisters who feel like you cannot get with a guy, a brother that is, a black man, one of your fellow black men, unless he has a criminal record, unless he has been in trouble with the law, unless he stays in trouble with the law. You are the same women who are in the same breath go out of your race and get with a guy who could be a straight up lame, who could not have any kind of street credibility or street sense at all without it being a problem. But yet, and still, anytime you may get with your very own black brothers, they have to have so much street swag. They have to be, might as well say, menace to society, as in the movie Menace to Society, how the guy Tyrone Turner was depicted throughout the whole movie. Those are the types of guys a lot of you choose. And I could give you another example. The guy who shot Morris Chestnut, Lloyd Avery Jr. in Boys in the Hood. You look at those types of guys as such a thrill. And some of you look at those types of guys, black guys, your fellow black guys, and this is why the black race would never ever be able to prosper, due to your piss poor choices and picking the worst brothers you could find. But I could give you another example, like I was just saying, the guy who murdered Morris Chestnut, and this same guy who happened to be murdered in real life, Lloyd Avery Jr., you know, the gangster who shot Morris Chestnut at the end of the movie in Boys in the Hood. These are the types of guys you black women glorify. And it seems on purpose as well, not just by default, because of how you were trained and taught, due to so many women choosing the same exact types of guys in your family, from your mothers to your grandmothers to your great grandmothers to your aunties to your female cousins. In most cases, it is a generational curse and cycle in a black community. And this is one reason why, judging from my perspective and my vantage point, so many of you black women in the U.S. alone are some of the least married, due to how you choose these types of guys, and in most cases, guys who have nothing to offer you at all. Hey, how are you? How do you say your name? Pakchuk, and if I mispronounce your name, forgive me, but these are the exact types of guys who some of you black women in some cases marry, who you actually go to the altar and marry. Guys who can't even much, in some cases, find a job to save their life due to them having such an extensive criminal record. Guys who can't even much formulate a proper sentence. Guys who can't, quote unquote, rub two nickels together. And I'm speaking from a metaphorical standpoint. And okay, like I said, forgive me for mispronouncing your name once again, but these are the types of guys that you choose. And I would say another reason why is because so many of you black women have evil spirits. That's why you're also attracted to some of the most evil guys, or let me know if this is a word or not, evilest guys you could find in your very own community. This is why there are so many black on black crimes that are still happening amongst black men. In other words, why there's so much black male genocide that's still going on due to how a lot of you promote thug behavior in black men, due to how you feel like your very fellow black men aren't of any value unless they may run the streets, unless they may always going out committing crimes amongst their very own fellow black man. And with that being said, I know this is sort of off topic, but no wonder we don't need the white supremacists anymore, due to how it's black men that are taking out their very own black brothers. And one reason why I know this, a lot of you sisters may be triggered when I say this, is due to how you choose specifically those types of men to have families with, to marry, and some of you are so dumb to the point where you will go out of your ways to provide for these types of men, will go out of your ways to drive these men around in your cars, will let these men drive your cars while you at work, drop you off in your very own car that you paying, making payments on and finances while you at work, and while he having several other women in the same car, you let him drive while you at work, and that you making payments on, but he's not contributing to help you pay on at all. You same dumb, gullible sisters who feel like those are the only types of black men, and I would say this is another reason why you could find the only types of black men. Hey, chill, I believe that's chill gaming because I'm trying to drive at the same time. The same types of black men you feel like are worth it, or worth anything, worth the damn, but are looked at amongst other races as straight up menaces, straight up criminals, straight up hoodlums. Those are the types of men you worship, and you worship them to the point, so much to the point where you worship them more than you worship God, the most, aka the Most High. Because you look at those, in a sense, you look at those as that types of men, guys who are straight up thugs, hoodlums, criminals, as your God, to the point where you'll be willing to do anything to hold on to these guys, even those guys that put you through so much crap, whether it may have been, has cheated on you, has abused you so many times, like I said earlier, either physically, emotionally, verbally, psychologically, either or, in some cases, all of the above. These are the same types of guys who you would go out of your way, and people in your family may try to tell you that you need to leave these guys alone, that you need to make better choices and picking better men. These are the types of guys whose defense you will go out of your ways to come, the defense to come to take up for. Because a lot of you not only were trained by default, and you also choose these types of men deliberately on purpose, but due to the simple fact of how so many of you have evil spirits, so many of you like relationships that come with so much drama, and relationships that come with so much confusion, to the point where you feel like that's the only way you could be excited. And this is why so many brothers who will make better husbands, better fathers, had such a hard time. For all you brothers who follow my channel, all you brothers who are very ambitious, who want something out of life, you highly educated brothers, you brothers who never ever have gotten into any trouble with the law, don't have any kind of criminal background or criminal record. This is why, brothers, you happen to have such a hard time approaching and hitting it out with the average sister, due to how so many of them choose the worst men they could find deliberately. Like I said, either deliberately or by default. And what you know or not, for all my fellow brothers who are wondering, why do you have so much a hard time connecting with your very own, or hitting it out with your very own black sisters? They're doing you a favor, because those same exact guys who they choose to have kids by are the main types of guys who have done X amount of years in prison, therefore have usually so many STDs. And this is why, one reason why so many black women lead in the nation with STDs, what it may be, either on behalf of gonorrhea, herpes, syphilis, HIV/AIDS. This is why, due to them choosing the worst calibers of men, like I said earlier, and I would not quit stressing this enough, men who are criminals and take pride, full pride and pleasures and being criminals and doing time, because they feel like so many brothers who do or have done jail or prison time, that's the only way they are a real N-word. And for a lot of you who are able to catch my drift, the owner under that one condition, on behalf of them doing jail time and some for doing some of the most heinous crimes, and they feel like when it all comes down to it, that's the only way of how they could be able to connect with the average sister, the average black woman, could be able to get some of the most beautiful black women out there. Because what do you know that they could pull some very fine sisters, guys who are criminals, guys who are hoodlums, brothers who have who are so much of a menace to society, guys who are always in trouble with the law, who always, even the guys who are always toting weapons, guys who from guys who are always toting weapons to guys who are always who may have a whole lot of tattoos, may have dreadlocks, may have some golds in this mouth, gold fronts in this mouth. Those are the types of women, and the types of guys who so many sisters admire deeply, because he could be one of those same calibers of guys who may be working a drive-through of your local Burger King, McDonald's restaurant, but yet and still he may be able to pull the manager who may be a very beautiful, thick sister with a nice top, maybe very nice, have a very nice shape up here, and then all the way down may have a pretty curvy shape with a nice face. These are the types of females who, guys like that, I would like to call them either a Gloctavius, a Pookie, or a Ray Ray. These are the same types of women that most brothers that are that way, of that caliber, could pull. And in most cases, it usually end up starting families with guys who don't even deserve families. These are the main types so many black women, so many sisters always choose to go for. I know it's strange, but this is the exact type of society we are living in. A society where as good is looked upon as bad, and vice versa, bad is looked upon as good, due to how so many of you sisters are in love, might as well say, with Satan himself. Otherwise, a lot of you will make much better choices and picking more wholesome brothers who will be excellent fathers to your kids. And not stepfathers, but guys who you will be able to start your very own family and legacy with. This is another reason, I'll say this is one reason why when guys who mean something, brothers that mean something, brothers as in who are very ambitious, want something out of life, carry themselves in such an upstanding manner, they do end up settling for sisters. In most cases, they have to end up settling for sisters who may have usually baggage from a previous relationship, and that baggage from picking a Gloctavius, a Pookie, a Ray Ray, and usually have to take on the role of being stepfathers to the Gloctavius, Pookies, and Ray Ray's kids, and has to face the chance of being having his life threatened for dating either Octavius's Pookie's or Ray Ray's kids, has to also be in fear of catching all kinds of STDs as a result of his significant other having kids from a previous relationship by a criminal who may have done prison time, may have done jail time for X amount of years for committing some of the most heinous crimes. What it may have been, either robbery, burglary, aggravated assault, murder, those types of crimes, drug dealing. These are the types of guys who so many sisters, once again, choose to have kids with, choose to marry in some cases. To be honest, those types of guys can't even much marry if they wanted to due to their criminal records, judging from my understanding. Because, am I right or wrong, in order for you to be able to marry a woman that's a man, you had to be a guy that's never been convicted of any kind of crime. Now, if you may have been done jail time for a misdemeanor, they may not count against you as in marrying and going to the courthouse instead of having the fancy wedding or actual wedding. Anyways, I'm going to end this video because I already have spoken my mind enough. And like always, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'm out.